CJ Stroud, the 8-yard run last week, courtesy of CBS, and now joining us, who has the longest open in radio, Sean Salisbury joins us, uncensored, unfiltered. How you doing today, Sean? What's going on?
And deservedly so, Sean. Deservedly so.
The open lasts longer than the segment. Yeah. Damn, I like it. I like it.
Hey, the city of Houston is relatively similar to Phoenix in the size. The only difference in sports is you don't have an NHL team, but it's been an Astros, been a Rockets at times, and Texans, but it's an Astros town, right? I mean, it's truly an Astros town.
It is, Rock, and it's the truth of the matter is now, while it's a football state, since I've lived here, it's been a decade now. It is an Astros town, and a lot of that has to do with the organization from Jim Crane has done everything for the most part right.
Yeah.
7 straight ALCSs. He hasn't overpaid, even though at times like Correa and Springer and when Garrett Cole, when they let him walk, they've been able to have the Peñas and guys come along that fill in and still go win World Series. So kind of validated that. The Rockets have been young and inexperienced through coaching changes, but when the managerial changes has happened here, both the previous managers have won World Series with Hinch and Baker. So, yeah, it is an Astros town, but I think they want it to be a Texans town as well, but they just haven't had the same success. They've won some divisions with Bill O'Brien. And you know what they haven't had really? I mean, they thought they had it in Watson, but that went south. This is the best rookie quarterback performance I've seen in the years I've played it and have broadcasted. In 9 games, I'm talking about. I've never seen a guy do what he's doing. It's not just the stats. It's all the other stuff that he's doing to command this. It's the best start to a career at that position I've ever seen. And I think what's happening now, I'm starting to feel the buzz of it. It's like, let me stick around a little while. I want to see this. And you know how it is in this type. Once they start winning, it'll probably become a football town. But the Astros have grabbed this city, in a bear hug, because they win every year and it's easy to like them. And so I think they're waiting on, and the Rockets team's hot right now. They're playing good basketball, and we see that the Texans are, quite frankly, in position with their schedule to not only make the playoffs, but they're going to challenge Jacksonville with the division.
Is CJ Stroud being marketed by the Texans? Because unlike here in our market, you don't even see Kyler do an interview unless it's after the game. He's not doing, car dealership endorsements. He's nowhere. And it's unfortunate because he is, he's a dynamic player. But is CJ starting to get some of that there, or is it similar, or wait and see?
Yeah, he is not. I think the craving for this talent, and you know what, at least I'm sure they are. His agent, I believe, is David Mulugeti, who was, ironically, Deshaun Watson's agent. Okay. And he's a big marketing, they've got that big arm pushing it. And the key is this performance. He's such a nice kid and an engaging kid and a humble kid. And then the performance is dynamic and precise and gaudy, and they're winning. And then D'Amico Ryans, and we're doing it with a bunch of rookies and a rookie head coach and coordinator, and their best wide receiver has been a rookie, and Tank Dell. So they're really, I think what happens is people are catching on. He makes an appearance on this show, and then he's on, this show and that show. He's making these appearances. Now, I don't know if that's from his agent or what, but the town is falling in love with him already. I mean, they're head over heels, and we got the best thing they've had since Warren Moon playing quarterback in this town, and quite frankly, a similar demeanor. Very, you never really see him get emotional. I was a teammate with Warren. I couldn't tell he threw 5 touchdowns or 5 picks. So, and he's very, I don't want to say introverted because they say he's fun in the locker room and the rest of it, but he comes across so understated, and I think that's a good thing. And it'll start to come. I think people are like, whoa, but he's got an agent that's really aggressive, and David Mulugeti, and I think it's going to happen. And right now, the performance alone and the way he's handled press conferences, it's kind of been organic and it's just kind of flowing. But I would imagine commercials will start to go, when you say, is this real? And 9 games in, I think the early return is it's real, and people like him, or people are engaged by him and intrigued with him. So, yeah, the marketing arm will hit hard. Plus, it's Texas, guys. It's a football hotbed. And now that they're winning, they make the playoffs, and you'll see all this offseason, you'll start to see national commercials. The Subways of the world jump to the forefront and bring him into play.
Sean Salisbury joining us here on the right, Troy DeGuess and Rock. I'm with Jimmy B. Sean, the one thing when I watch this young man, I've watched him quite a bit, is and I preach this to my young guys, old guys, whatever, we've seen this in Brock Purdy, is being consistently consistent. Now, I want you, for a lot of the Cardinal fans that have not watched him, how much, what that means when you see that consistency in this young man. What does that mean, at least from our vernacular as ex-QBs, to see that happening on the field?
Well, the first thing, Manuch, and you are 100% correct, and he's also comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes.
He's been in a couple games recently that have not been comfortable. The come from behind victory 2 weeks ago where he had to make great plays on a drive. He turned the ball over 3 times. He's 15-2.
Huh.
15 touchdowns against 2 picks, and he's the most aggressive quarterback in the league. His accuracy beyond 15 yards is just as accurate as he is less than 15 yards. It's uncanny what he's doing, but it's almost like he's loved those situations to kind of build it without talking about it, and then people start to buy in. But that consistency you're talking about, Manuch, and I've watched him hard, man, because you start to say, okay, is this real?
Yeah.
And it is, because his poise in the pot, and what he did, first off, he didn't buy into what the narrative was about, that testing, about the cognitive testing and being able to process information. That may be his number one trait on the field. Well, he said he didn't like, he's not a great test taker, and he really wasn't interested in taking it. And the Texans don't subscribe to that test, and they overlooked that. They brought him in because sitting next to him and watching him, they felt that he could. And all the throwing, guys, we bought at Rancho Cucamonga in high school at Ohio State. I don't know why any of us are surprised that he's a great thrower of the football. He's been doing that since he was, since he got out playing youth football. But it's the accuracy, the way the ball's coming out. It's out quickly and urgently. He's not bailing out of the pocket. He's making the ordinary play look ordinary, which is a great thing. And then the play that you're not supposed to make very often, he's making. And when it's not there, he's making smart decisions. So fumbles twice last week, throws a pick, and it was a bad pick. What did he do? Got the ball back, took him down, put him in position to win. So the consistency is the preparation, his practice habits, from what I understand, but it's also the way he's consistent with his demeanor and the way he's leading during a game. To me, great leadership isn't telling me how to do it. Great leadership is showing me how to do it and bringing people along. And he's done, as a rookie, 9 games in. It's no doubt whose team it is already. And DeMeco Ryans has said, listen, people just follow his lead because he's setting a great example for how we're supposed to do things. And so that consistency you're talking about, Rock, and you know this. I know a lot of rookies and a lot of quarterbacks that have had great success and dynamic playmaking. But it's the sustained success of week in and week out. They had one little blunder against Carolina. Hopefully that won't hurt him in the end because they should have beat him. But he is making the play that's there, and he's also being smart and judicious with the ball when the play's not there. I know that I'm raving about him, and I don't usually this early. I'm like, let's slow our roll. But I'm trying to find the weakness, which you guys in Arizona are going to get. He'll stand in there and take a hit, but his line is overachieved because they've been banged up. If he will be aggressive and is accurate. The crazy thing is how good he is, knowing until last week they finally ran it well, that they're going to throw it, that they have to throw it to win, and he's still throwing it into windows that people can't stop. I have never seen a guy this early in his career be that aggressive, but not careless with the football at the same time. It's pretty fascinating to watch.
Sean, he's truly the bell cow. That's definitely for sure. But let's not forget about this 4-3 front, this DeMeco Ryans-led defense with Will Anderson Jr. leading the charge. Little overshadowed with CJ Stroud being the starlet there in Houston.
Yeah, you ain't lying. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, that guy we picked third's pretty good. After CJ, with in truth, Rock and Manuch going in, the narrative on our show, so let's pass on the quarterback. We don't really need that. I mean, we'll wait till next year when Caleb Williams or Drake May or one of those guys, because you know what? Let's wait to take somebody in the second round. We need more defensive players and receivers. And we got Will Anderson. He was the talk of it. And now it's like, well, that's CJ Stroud now. And Will Anderson, I think, leads the team in tackles for loss. Great energy, but yeah, he goes. And Manucci mentioned that front, that 4-3, and their linebackers. Now, they don't have Fred Warner or Bosa on their team right now or Chase Young, but I tell you what, they're, as a group, they're starting to do better things and apply pressure without having to blitz. And you know this, that's what the good teams do.
Yeah.
Can you get there with 4 and at times 5 and create, conflict for the quarterback, and they're doing it. So while they may not lead the league in sacks, they're getting better at pressures. And Will Anderson's going to be a great player in the league. But yeah, you know how it goes when a quarterback's kicking, playing great football. The rest of the guys, it's like, oh yeah, remember me? It's like, no, and they're loving it because they get to do their job in quiet. And he's trying to do his job in silence. But when you're a quarterback playing this well, you don't get to be quiet, brother. We're all watching every move you make, but keep an eye on Will Anderson. And we know, obviously, here in Houston, the defense is going to have to deal with the off-schedule change a launch point that Kyler Murray is going to bring to the table. Those guys are hard to defend, and if Kyler's hot, it'll be tough. But he's going to see a lot of different looks.
1 minute.
Given on offense, a lot of different formations and personnel groupings.
He's Sean Salisbury. Nice enough to join us today here on Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B. As we let you go with the Pro Sports Fans app that you are heading up and you got a full team, when are you typically on? When can people see you do your podcast on PSF?
You know what? I've stayed back, spent so much time with all my other stuff going on these and doing my morning drive. I am about probably 2 weeks away as we've put it together. My new show will be called Sean Salisbury Unpaved.
Oh.
And it'll be sports, but a lot of stuff unpaved, meaning, we're going to take you on a road that may not feel like it's, that road that we all go on in life and sports, but I'm going to get you back to a paved road. So that'll come, and then I'll let you know. But get the design done, and I'm going to hit the ground running. But you know how it is, guys. You've built businesses.
Yeah.
My sweat equities try to get all this right as the president of a company. That show will come, and when it does, it'll be loud and clear what I'm talking about.
He's President Sean Salisbury here on the Right to Guest line. Sean, as always, man, thank you, buddy. Have a good weekend.
Love you guys, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's Sean Salisbury, of course, that PSF. Download it today. Pro Sports Fan. We do hits on it right after we get done here. We'll be doing our Cardinal podcast, but good stuff. He's brought to you today by All City Towing, and they are growing. Yes, they got a bunch of new vehicles to the fleet, and they need to hire new people. That's right. Go to allcitytowing.com and search careers. That's allcitytowing.com/careers. Well, coming up, it's our Arena Sports Grill segment. This week, we'll give you a chance to win a few